Algebra students, we are going to keep reviewing quadratic trinomials. Let's start again with this idea when we have when c is negative. So we're looking at quadratic trinomials. For now, I'm going to keep this coefficient 1. Spoiler alert, if you take 1 and multiply it by c, what do you get? You get c. That's going to be important later. So we look at c, and if c is negative, start with if c is negative. We're going to list all the factors of c, and if c is negative, we're going to subtract those factors. And we're looking for the number b, the coefficient of x. All right, if we don't find the coefficient of x, then it doesn't factor. X squared minus x minus 4. Just gave this problem to my Algebra 2 students, as a matter of fact. 1 and 4, 2 and 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. That is a 1. Neither of these subtract to 1. Does not factor. All right, I don't give you a lot of does not factor in the factor practice because I want you to practice factoring. So let's take a look at these next examples. So we start with the constant, in this case 30. I always try to go in order. I know I stressed that in the last video, but if you go in order, you got a better chance of not missing anything. 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6. Next one would be 6, which I've already listed, so I'm good. We're looking for factors of 30 that subtract to 13. 6 minus 5 is not 13. 10 minus 3 is not 13. 30 minus 1 is not 13. And I did all of those to show you that once we got this last one, 15 and 2. So we start and we take this x and x. And then we take this 2 and this 15. Remember, the whole idea is that we're undoing this foiling that we were doing in the last unit. X times x, x times 15, 2 times x, 2 times 15. What we know is in red, we know that it's x times x to give us x squared. And we know it's 2 times 15 to get us 30. These numbers could have been any one of these, but we know it's 2 and 15 because we're looking for a positive 13. And now the question is, how do I get a positive 13 with a 15 and a 2? Well, I need a positive 15 and I need a negative 2. If this was a minus 13, then I would have flipped these signs. It would have been a plus 2 and a minus 15. When you have a negative constant, you always have one positive and one negative. Let's look over here. 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Subtracting. 24 minus 1 is 23. 12 minus 2 is 10. 6 minus 4 is 2. 8 minus 3 is 5. So try this one on your own now. What would you do? X with a 3, X with a 5. The signs. Oh, sorry. Not x with a 5, x with an 8, excuse me. 8 and 3, 24. Minus 5x, so I need a minus 8 and a positive 3. All right, in addition to practicing quadratic trinomials like we did yesterday or like we did Monday in class, we're also going to look at combining what we did earlier this unit. Take a look at this example. We want to always look first for a common factor. When we take out this common factor of 2, I'm left with x squared plus 4x minus 12. Now look inside, I have a quadratic trinomial. So I want to start with the factors of 12 and find the factors of 12 that subtract to 4. So the 2 is going to come along for the ride. We still have to bring this 2 down. Everything needs to be multiplied by 2. But I'm also going to rewrite that quadratic trinomial as x with a 2 and x with a 6. I need a positive 4, so I need a plus 6 and a minus 2. If you multiply 2 times this, you get what you started with. If you multiply 2 times this and then take that and multiply by x plus 6, you get what you started with. If you take 2 times x plus 6 and then multiply by x minus 2, you get back to what you started with. If you multiply the 2x minus 2 times x plus 6 together, you get what's in here. And then if you distribute the 2, you get here. The big mistake is kids will want to multiply both of these things by 2, but just take a look. This is A times B times C. It's just 3 numbers being multiplied. All right, let's try what happens when we're adding that constant. When we're adding, it's almost the same idea as subtracting, except when we list factors, we want to add those factors. So we take a look at 54. We got 1 and 54. 2 goes into it because I know it's even. When I get 2 and 27, that helps me because I know 3 will go into it. I know 3 will go into it 18 times. 4 does not go into it, but I know that 6 does. 6 goes into it 9 times. 7, no. 8, no. 9, I'm back to where I began. Add factors of 54 that get to 15. X with a 6, x with a 9. Because this is positive, I'm going to have a plus plus or a minus minus. You get it from right there. Positive 15, I need those to be positive. The more you do these, the more you're just going to see the factors, and you don't have to list them all out. If you're not sure, you can always list them all out. But do you see how I got 5 and 6 and I add those up? Good to go. Adding this into what we did in the previous sections. Look for a common factor first. In this case, take out the 3. Left with x squared minus 5x plus 6. Factors of 6 that add to 5. X with a 2, x with a 3. Because it's a plus sign at the end, it's plus plus or minus minus, we get it from there. This is the mistake most kids have because they forget to keep bringing the 3 down. Your final answer is 3 times all of that mess. So tomorrow in class, you're just going to keep practicing how to factor quadratic trinomials. It's a hugely important skill. Talk to the Algebra 2 students about it. They learned this in their last unit, and they are using it every single day in the next unit as well. So it's a huge unit for Algebra 2 and important skill. All right. Have a good night. Peace.